Oh, servus people. Today, finally gonna install the trailer hitch on the X5. Sitting down there. It's been waiting. This is everything I need or you would need. And that's the dog. Before we get into the installation, just quick, why OEM and not aftermarket? In the end, it is more expensive. The OEM hitch costs you more than a aftermarket solution. But a matter of fact, it's the most stable, it's the most secure, it can tow the most. Not that I'm towing all that much, but this is what it is. The aftermarket solution that you find, they just screw onto the sheet metal. And they screw onto the, ideally, some of them screw from the back and at the bottom. Some only screw in the back. It is, I mean, it's not paper thin, but it's just sheet metal. So you will have some flex in there, and it's not the sturdiest thing that is on the car. So the OEM hitch screws straight into the frame, into the crash structure of the frame. So that will be the most sturdy solution for that. So this is the trailer hitch. These are the parts, that one is right there, that go into the frame. And then your hitch will replace your current bumper structure, see that in a moment. And this big piece here is the bumper support that sits in here. These are the new parts, the new used parts. And now, before installing, you have to prepare a lot. Of course, bumper has to come off. For that, we have two 8mm in the wheelhouse here. I think it's one down here and one there. This and this, hard to see in the light. Same on the other side. Up here is a T50, I believe, Torx. Same on the other side. And underneath it may be clipped. So take a look there, and then the bumper just pulls off. That's for the outside. Inside, as always, anything you do in here, you have to remove the spare wheel, because you have to access the module hub down there. Wheel comes out. You take a 30mm to take the brackets for the compressor out. You just tilt it up out of the way. Then you have Phillips head down there, and you take off a lid. Then you have your modules down there, get to it later. Also, these have to go. You have three 10mm plastic nuts, and I believe it's just two. No, this is none, you just have two over here. These come out, of course this comes out too. And then you can access the frame rails here, these parts, because this, I think down here is where the nut is. We have to access this one there. And you will also have to lower your mufflers both sides and lower the heat shields behind it. That way you can really get to the carrier. That's what you need to do. Bumper off, lower muffler heat shield, spare wheel out, compressor up, and remove the plastic pieces. With all the rough stuff out of the way, gonna go underneath here, Phillips head, take this cover off. Also gonna remove this cover here. This is just for the cable, because behind there, actually here you see that is the connector that your trailer hitch will hook up to, and it has to come through somewhere here. Not if it fits through here. You can take a look at that. There you see, that is the grommet on the left side of the license plate. That's where your harness comes through, so it will come out somewhere here. You have to route it over here, so this cover has to go. There are just a couple of plastic clips here, nothing complicated. And down here, this is your module carrier. You have four Phillips head screws. There's two here, one there, and one here. This one I left out because it's a pain to get to. So the other three are gonna hold well. Okay, to get to the T55 screw here, you will have to go underneath the exhaust. That's only 40 V8s, and you have to open this one side here, and that will move the exhaust enough to where you can get a bit in here and remove the screw. I might just tuck it back up again so it's in place before I remove the bumper. Time to take the bumper off, and of course there's PDC, so I will have to disconnect the harness also. So you notice that down here is the connector for your PDC, and it just pops right out with the grommet. That is the by far preferred method, other than taking 4 connectors off and these bibbles here, and you can't get it anyway, so forget about it. You take the entire PDC harness off with the bumper, so you have like a bunch of clips here, and also in here I can see them. You take these out, and then this carrier comes out of the bumper, will be replaced with this one, but I'm gonna do that later. First, you see here, these are crash absorbers. They come out, they will be replaced with these parts here, and they go into the frame. This part comes out, it will be the new part that has the hitch down here. It will screw into the crash structure rather than just either on here or on here. I know some of the aftermarket hitches have another like leg that goes down here, and this screws into the spare wheel box. You see, nothing you can do here. You have to go to the inside, open it from there, then they come out. Then you have to remove the Torx here, then this comes out. So these screws here, these ones there, in here, these are 13 on the non-trailer hitch and 16 on the trailer hitch. So you see I lower the exhaust, it's all just 13mm, both hangers support them so they don't drop. And then you have here 2 10mm to drop the heat shield, and you can access the screws here, the other side. So now we have 2 13mm down here and a bunch of T47 in here. These come out, and then this entire carrier comes out. Now everything is out of the way, so it's time to put the new rails in, these in there, and this will be the mounting points for the trailer hitch. So you do have little rubber grommets where these screws for these go. That's of course, if you don't have that in here, that is just to seal so no water comes in. You just take them out like so. And also in the front you have 2, you take the one that's more to the rear. You can just check with the holes, not that complex. So it's finally on. So once you tighten these 4 on both sides, then you tighten the 2 on the frame down here. Then it appears to be finished. But this is glue. There is a thread in there, and you put 2 more screws on both sides. Look like this. Yeah, so remove the glue a little bit and then put these in. I forgot about the cable. It was squeezed down there. I had to loosen it all up again just to get it in. Your cable routes in here through the grommet we removed earlier. Comes out down here. And this will just plug into this apparently random connector here. That's what it's for. Then you have that hooked up. And afterwards there's another random connector down there. We'll get there. And that's why your module connects to. Trunk almost complete again. Right side not yet, because I still have to hook up my park distance control. So now it's time to convert the bumper. This carrier has to come out, this one has to come in. It's currently just held by a bunch of plastic clips. I'm gonna take them out, swap it, and put the bumper back on. From here it's somewhat easy sale, but I'm also in the meantime gonna put the heat shields back up and the exhaust somewhat, I guess. So to be honest, removing this carrier and all these clips in there that like felt like a million clips, and they don't come out easy, they come out pretty terribly badly. So sometimes you just have to use some tools, wiggle it out, some will break or bend. Taking them out is just one thing. You have to also use them later on again to push them back in. That's not any easier. So this is a really slow, tedious, finger crunching process here. So if you can use a small screwdriver to push out the little inner plastic pin first and then wiggle out the rest, but that doesn't always work. Sometimes there's no space to get anything in. Those are the hard ones. You will just have to make do with what you have. You even see me using a hammer, so when putting them back in, some just wouldn't budge no matter how hard you were pushed. So I used a little extension and a hammer to swing them in. This is really no fun. So with the bumper carrier finally changed over and got all the little plastic knobs in, it's finally time to put the bumper back on, guide the cable back into the box, and then I can slide it in. You slide it in, you see these here, these just slide over here, and that is pretty much it. You have then two screws that connect back to the wheel liner, and of course the two big ones that go for here. Interesting enough, they just go for here, actually screw into the carrier itself again. And there it finally is, the OEM trailer hitch. You can make it out on these two noses here, on these two pieces here, because that is where you would attach your chain, your safety chain, backup. Other trailer hitches have that too, but it's way more flimsy. This is pretty massive, and still this has been bent over here. It's one side. Overall condition fairly good. Some surface corrosion. It is the OEM hitch. That is the most stable. That's the best hitch you can get. Here it is. It's been quite an operation to get it on, but overall everything's still working. Park distance control is still working. No problems whatsoever. It is good. Nothing broke. I'm happy. And you can see I did sweat a little bit because it was really warm. It is what it is. I'm happy with the result. And now I can move on to the next. I have a couple more things planned with this car, and also a couple of repairs I may have to do. So stay tuned. There are more videos coming on this X5 and on this 550, and of course on the 535. And beside it, there's another car. Haven't even started that thing yet. So stay tuned. Thank you for watching, and I'm gonna see you in the next video.